The allies agree that Russia now has serious questions it must answer. The Russian government must fully cooperate with the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons on an impartial international investigation. Those responsible for this attack must be held accountable and brought to justice.
For more, Dana Lewis joins us now live from London. Hi, Dana. First, explain why, Germany called on Nato, the military alliance, to get involved in Navalny's case at this point, and how badly will that alone irritate Moscow?
Well, I mean, Germany is a member of NATO, and so obviously their position is within the alliance. I think that Angela Merkel is saying, look, this is not up to Germany to take action against Russia, because there are calls from within her own government now for them to cancel the Nord Stream pipeline with Russia. And she's saying shouldn't be action just by Germany. The EU should look at this, NATO countries should look at this, and we should collectively come to some kind of conclusion about how we want to deal with Russia. I think that the direction that NATO is going in is very interesting, because they're calling for the OPCW to do an investigation under the Chemical Weapons Convention now, because Russia allegedly has used Novichok in two different instances. So in 2018 in Salisbury, and then now within Russia against Alexei Navalny. And they have never admitted, Andrea, to having a Novichok program. If they do admit to it, which they're not going to, but if they do admit to it, then they have to provide complete disclosure, including allowing the OPCW to do inspections inside Russia and to open up their program, and they're not going to do that. So that's why you see this strategy of look surprised, act concerned, and deny everything.
I mean, not only do they not admit to having that program, but Russia has said before that basically anyone who really wants to obtain Novichok can find it, not just in Russia, but kind of anywhere around the world. So, I mean, yeah, but how serious is Novichok in itself? I mean, it's considered this banned chemical weapon, but again, Russia says no, it's out there. People can get it.
Well, first of all, they say they don't have it, and they never had it. But I can tell you, I've been with threat reduction people in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan inside anthrax-producing factories near Vozrozhdenia Island in the Aral Sea, which was a massive Soviet chemical biological testing site. And Novichok was produced in Uzbekistan. And we know that there have been defections from the Soviet chemical and biological programs on a very big scale into the United States. And the U.S. funded the threat reduction program, where they retrained Russian scientists so that they wouldn't turn to terrorism or they wouldn't produce this stuff for anybody else. A lot is known about this program. We know for sure that Russia produced it and had it, but did they destroy it? And they claimed in 2018 they had destroyed it. Evidently not, because it's still floating around. And don't forget, Navalny was under constant surveillance by the FSB, the Federal Security Service, spy service within Russia. They must know who administered this.
Okay. Though, I mean, if the pressure continues, Dana, and, sanctions are threatened via NATO, via the EU, via Germany and on the pipeline, from Russia's perspective, what would actually qualify as an impartial investigation so that they could avoid any punitive damage here? Is there anyone Moscow would really trust to come in and look at this in detail?
No. There is nobody they would trust, and they're not going to allow anybody in. But the investigation will go on. The calls for sanctions will go on by the EU, by Bill Browder, by NATO. And look, we are lunging towards sanctions. There is going to be a price to be paid for this.
Okay, Dana Lewis, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us, as always. We appreciate it. Now, don't forget, you can log on to our website for details on all of our main stories and many others. You'll find those at trtworld.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at TRT World. That is